Morvid Collective.
What's up, all you horror movie loving fuckers? Welcome back to another episode of Fright Flick FMK. As always, I am your host, Jay. Now it's a little different today. Normally, I let you all know that I'm here with my co-host, the delicious gentleman in Jack. But today's a little different. Today is I'm doing this for my good buddy, our good buddy over at Criminal AF, Dave. A few weeks ago, Dave had to have surgery, and leading up to the surgery, he had mentioned that he's not going to be able to drink, for a while because of his surgery. And I made the comment because Dave's he's a fan of the Corona. You know, if you've watched any of the episodes and stuff like that, most of the time Dave got him a chilled Corona. But I told him, I made the comment like, well, I guess I'll have to have a Corona on the show for you since you can't drink. So today, for this episode of Triple FMK, I am joined by the co-host, the Corona. So for Dave, buddy, thinking about you. Hope your recovery's going good. This one's for you, brother. Cheers. That's Corona break. Thank you. Like I said, Dave, wish you the best, buddy. Keep recovering. And I won't be sipping on these throughout the episode for you. But yeah, welcome back. Here today with the Corona. And you're listening to this is Friday. It should be Friday. So we made it through another week. So this is it's time to kick back and relax, grab your favorite beverage, pull you up a chair, and we're about to talk a little shit about some horror movie. Like before I'd said on the previous episode or the one before, fuck, I can't remember. But this month is, the month of Halloween. So I wanted to cover Halloween movies for this month. And I was scrolling through because once again, if you've been around, I never have a plan. So I'm just looking through the internet, looking through, all the streaming services I have. And I was just like, I don't know what I want to watch. And then one come across that I have scrolled past many times. It's popped up. I've kind of read the description and just and scrolled past. So I decided I was going to finally give this a watch, and so I think I can't remember the year right now. Honest with you, one thing I seen it was 2007. One I seen 2009. So I'm not really sure. I'll have to look it up after this is over because I'm not going to go digging into the Google at the moment. But 2007, 2009, can't remember. But a movie called Trick or Treat. I feel sure a ton of people out there have heard this movie, have seen this movie, and has watched it, but I have never seen it. I have scrolled by it. I've seen people talk about it on Instagram and stuff like that. But just never watched it. And so I seen it and decided, well, shit, I'm on Halloween movie. I'm on finally break down and watch this thing. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Trick or Treat. 2007, 2009. Damn it, it's going to bother me now. So now I'm going to pull this up. Hold on one second. Oh, shit. I got to know now because I'm one of the people that once I read something, I got to fucking figure out what it is. And I still can't fucking find it. Damn it, Google. 2007. Yep, 2007. Okay. Oh, for a minute there, I thought I closed out the video audio recording shit. 2007. Okay, now I'll be able to sleep better tonight. But so before I get into this, we're going to touch on a little bit of the housekeeping stuff real quick. Then we're going to move on. Go check us out on all the social media sites. Fright Flick FMK. We're also our website, frightflickfmkpodcast.com. It's like a one-stop shop. Everything's there. All the links to the social media, all the links to the streaming services. There's a link to get to the YouTube because I do a video version of this also. There is the link to the Patreon. We do have a Patreon. 3 tiers, fuck, marry, kill. It will get you access to the Discord. It also gives you access to episodes I release on the Patreon that I do not release public. So you also get unedited for like the Mary tier. You get unedited. So when I like have a guest, a lot of times we shoot the shit for a few minutes before and after, and I upload the unedited to the Patreon. So yep, go check us out. Also go check out our Morvid Collective.com. It is that's our little podcast family. It's a spot where other podcast tees go and support other podcasters. We've got Criminal AF, Serial Holic, True Crime University, Freaky AF, and Freaky as Fuck. So go check that out. All the links, everything will be in the bio on underneath the description of the show. If you're on like Apple or Spotify, you can scroll down and click on the links. But I think that's it. We're going to just cruise on past that housekeeping shit. And so we're going to get into this movie. And like I said, never heard of this movie. And well, I've heard of it. Shit. I've heard of it, just never watched it. But this is the best time of the year. And I watch horror movies year round all the time, but it's just something different when it's the month of October and it's Halloween. It's different. You just seem to, I enjoy them more. Everybody in the neighborhood, all the Halloween decorations is going up. Our daughter Ava, she is looking forward to Halloween. She was asking yesterday, like, how many more days till Halloween? And me and her were outside, and I told her, she was like, how many more days? And I don't know, I think I told her like maybe around like 20 days. And she was just like, well, that's crazy, because I look around and everybody's got these Christmas decorations up. I mean, not Christmas, but Halloween decorations up, and it's not even Halloween yet. They're too early, and it was funny to me. And she was just like, she's so excited because she gets to dress up as her favorite horror movie character, Megan. She loves Megan, and her mom has ordered her a the whole 9 yards Megan outfit for Halloween, and she is looking forward to it. Like, this kid loves Megan. Like, posters on, I collect horror movie posters, and I had to get her one of Megan. She's got the Megan poster. She's got Megan t-shirts. And so she gets to dress up as Megan for Halloween. So she's looking forward to it. Everything's good about this time of the year, man. Like I said, it's just the weather's changing. You can finally break out the hoodies, the cool weather. And I'm all about some sweatpants and sweatshirt life, man. It's just that's I could be that way every day. I like the cold weather. I wish it stayed cold. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to coming into the fall of the year and the cold weather. And like I said, it's just, for me, this weather just puts me in a better mood. Everything about it's just good. So so we're going to get on into Trick or Treat. I will hit you with the kind of like the IMDb / shit right off the internet, because I don't word this stuff on my own. But they listed 2007 American horror comedy film, written and directed by Michael Daughtry and produced by Brian Singer. This one, because I didn't read anything into it going before I watched it. I literally just seen whatever the description was on the thing. On where the fuck did I watch this at? Prime? Yeah, I think I bought it on Prime. And because once again, you could rent it on Prime or buy it. I always get suckered in and buy them. So I watched it, and actually the day I'm recording this, I watched it earlier. So it was fresh in my mind. That's usually the way I like to do it. I like to watch it and then jump right on here, because my memory is not the best. So this one, and I didn't realize it, how this story goes. It kind of, it's going to go from ending to the beginning kind of way. It starts you off at one point, and then it hits you with like earlier. Then there's like another stage of earlier, and it kind of backs up to get you to how it all starts. And I really enjoy movies like that. I like the one because it's like it shows you something in the beginning, and then later on it keeps backing up, but then you're putting the pieces together. You're like, oh shit, that's when that happened in the beginning. And that's the way Trick or Treat goes. And honestly, I did not have a lot of high hopes for when I went to watch it. I don't know why. It was just not one I've heard about a lot. Um, so I didn't go into it with a lot. I went into it just kind of like, oh, it's a Halloween movie. I want to get on here to talk about it, and so as it started, it kind of it had my attention early on. I'm a big fan of the killing and stuff like that, and this one it goes into it pretty quick, and so the movie goes through and it ends up breaking down to where it's like four different stories, but they all kind of tie together a little bit. But it's like, because I've noticed it while I was watching it, I'd be like watching one thing going on, and then it goes to something else, and it's like completely different than what was happening. And then it shifts gears again, and it's talking about this like a different story. And so I think it was like four stories or something that was kind of how this thing rolled. And you piece it all together as it goes. And I enjoyed that about it. I enjoyed getting toward the end of it, and certain things at the end of it, I was remembering it from the beginning. And I'm like, oh shit, that was when this happened, or that's when this happened. So I enjoy movies like that. So I tell you all the time, I'm going to spoil the shit out of movies. Sometimes I try to save a little bit, don't give it all away. Sometimes I do. Like I said, no plan, no script. I'm just going to get on here and talk about it. Some of the cast in this one that I will scroll through real quick. Some of the names that kind of jumped out at me that I recognized. Anna Paquin, you all know True Blood. Stooky. That one. Brian Cox, another band. He plays Mr. Craig. Anna Paquin plays Lori. Dylan Baker plays Principal Stephen Wilkins. The dude that played Schrader in this movie, his name is Jean-Luc Blood. Hell, I don't know. Bilodeau. Bilodeau. But he looked familiar when I was watching it. And then after I had to look him up because it was bothering me. And he played in the TV show that was on for maybe only like a season or two called Baby Daddy. That's where I remembered him from. Actually I enjoyed that show. I thought it was pretty good. So recognized him in it. Leslie Bibb plays Emma, and she, Talladega Nights. That's where the big one I remember her from. That's some of the one that kind of stood out to me that I recognized. But we're going to start off with how this one, the storyline of this, how it goes. Like I said, we're going to get, like I told you, it's going to go four different stories. It's going to piece all together as it goes. You start putting in pieces and you start figuring it all out. That I enjoyed about it. Everybody in this movie was really good. They had some good names in it. Everybody's part was played well. They had one or two people that in the movie that you wanted bad things to happen to. The little teenage girl, I forget her name, was it Macy? I think her name was Macy, played by Britt McKillop. And she played that little snobby teenage girl, the one that, thought she was better than everybody. And, she has a couple lines in it where you just like, and I remember thinking to myself, she made one comment, and I remember thinking to myself, like, man, I hope this bitch dies soon. And so it does good at having those. It had I'm a big fan of the killing and some kind of gore stuff. I like it. This one had some decent, decent gory, bloody stuff. Nothing over the top, nothing crazy. But yeah, overall, man, it was a good watch. I want to go ahead and get my rating out of the way before I talk about it, because this to me is going to be a Mary, people. And I am surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I really did. I can't believe I've never seen it, and fucking 2007, man. It doesn't seem like that long ago, but it fucking 2007. And I can't believe it had just slipped by me. I just never taken the time to watch it. I've just always seen it, scrolled by it, didn't really pay it no attention. And I was wrong. This thing is really good. I enjoyed it. This is a marry for me. I'm going to marry it. This is one that I could watch anytime. The whole thing is just fun. It's got some scary parts in it. It's got some, creepy stuff, some scary stuff, a little bit of blood. Um, it's got some good acting in it, the good twist in it, and it's not the kind of twist that hold on one second. Corona break, thank you. It's got twist in it, but it's not the kind that there's certain movies you watch and the twist in them makes it where you can't enjoy it after that. You watch it and it's kind of like, okay, now that I know that's how it goes, I don't want to see that again. But this one's not like that. This one for me is one that, yes, you got the twist in it, you put the pieces together, but you have such a good time watching it that you could go back and watch it again. You're not worried about the twist because you put the piece together. Everything about it was just fun to watch. And I had a really good time with this one. And as soon as I'm done recording this, I got to order my movie poster because I'm a huge fan of horror movie posters. I've got them all over my house. And so this is next in the shoot to get ordered. Such a big fan. Like I said, I'm glad I bought it on Amazon, so I have it digitally. I don't have all the, physical stuff, but I am glad I finally watched it, and I will recommend this to anybody. And it's a Halloween movie, but it's not one of those that it's going to fall under that. Oh, I can only watch it on Halloween. This one isn't. This one's fun, man. I had a good time watching it. And so that's where I'm at. I could have waited to the end to rate it, but hey, sometime we do it, sometime we don't. So now I want to get into the movie. And this is where I will say spoilers. I'm going to spoil it. And we're going to talk about how it goes and what went on in this movie. Like I told you, it starts off in. It's going to start off. I think this thing takes place in Ohio. Let me see. Yeah, Warren Valley, Ohio. I don't think that's a real town, but Halloween night, and it's going to start off with this little video of like these old, look like maybe the 70s or something, black and white stuff, and it's like talking about the rules of Halloween, telling how the kids to be safe, like don't walk in the streets, don't cross the streets, you know, how everybody back in the day when I was growing up, watch out for the poison in your candy, motherfuckers slipping razor blades and whatever shit else in the candy. And so that's kind of how it starts off. But then we get to husband and wife. I can never remember their names, but I do know Leslie, Beth, Emma, and I fucking forget her husband's name. I don't remember, but they're walking home. It's like they were coming from somewhere. They were dressed up. He had some medieval looking costume on. She was dressed up like this robot. They come up to the front of their house, and she makes the comment. I think it's somebody putting on put it out, and they had a jack-o'-lantern sitting out front of their little gate in front of their house. They had a bunch of Halloween decorations up, and she makes the comment like, I want to put that light out on that jack-o'-lantern. And the husband's kind of like, well, no, that's kind of breaking the rules. You don't want to break the rules. Well, then while she's doing this, you see something looking at her across the street. And you can tell it's looking through like a mask or something. And it's watching her. And she goes and she puts out the light inside the jack-o'-lantern. And the husband, he makes a comment like, oh, you've broken the rules. You've broken the rules. And so they go in the house. Well, then they get up to the steps. I don't know what time of the night it is. It gets darker around this time of the year. So I don't know if it's like super late, but all of a sudden the wife wants to take down all the Halloween decorations. And I'm just like, holy shit, man, y'all got a lot of shit out there to go taking this stuff down. And he's just kind of like, I'll do it in the morning. She's like, no, you won't. You'll sleep in and play video games all day. And apparently her mother was coming the next day and she didn't want it to look like a crime scene out front of the house. And while they're standing there, she tells him, she's like, go put the tape on. And now I'm thinking, it's Halloween night. Maybe she was going to be like, you know what? Fuck the Halloween decorations. I thought in that moment he had a favorite like how horror movie he wanted to watch. That was his Halloween movie, his go-to. You know, like me, every year at Christmas time, I have National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's the number one Christmas movie that has to be watched. And so I'm thinking maybe this is it. She's like, go put the tape on. I'm like, oh, okay. So she's gonna be like, fuck the decorations. Let's go in there and watch us a movie, Halloween night. So he goes in the house. Well, she doesn't go in the house. Fucking wife stays outside and starts taking down the Halloween decorations. And I'm like, damn, well, what the fuck? Is he gonna go in there and just maybe she was just super nice. Like, hey, I'll handle all this. You going inside and enjoy your Halloween movie. I ain't mad at her if that was what she was doing. So she goes out to the yard. She starts taking down decorations. They got a bunch of like these little stick things, scarecrow looking things with sheets over, looking like ghosts. She got like these little fake arms hanging from the trees and stuff. So she's out there, and kids are coming by, still doing a trick or treat thing. When she looks across the street and something staring at her, there's like a person dressed up this white mask. He's just standing there. But then she starts kind of like looking at him. He ain't moving. It's looking at her. And you're thinking like, oh, this thing that was looking at her across the street. But it wasn't. Old dude just waiting on the ride. He pulls up, gets in the car, and she gives that like, oh, kind of giggles it off type thing. He drives off. Now she's pulling these little sheets off these little stick things they have built. And she's putting up the decorations. Now we go back to the husband inside. Husband inside pulls out an old VHS. I think it was something... I can't remember the name of the fucking movie that was written on the VHS. Something natural, something I can't remember. But it's a VHS. He puts it in the thing. I'm thinking, okay, maybe the old dude got him just an old VHS horror movie he wants to watch. And so he's laying there on the bed, whatever, starts watching his movie. Wife's still outside, taking out the decorations. When she comes across and she makes a comment about like, oh, Halloween. Like, you can tell she's not a fan of it. She's ready to be over. She's ready to get all the shit down. And so all of a sudden, something jumps up. One of these sheets jumps up, and it fucking kind of lands on top of her. And it's like something's all over. And she kind of like is fighting it. She falls out comes through the little gate right there at the sidewalk. And there's like some kids standing there. Well, next thing you know, you see this like pumpkin looking thing, like it cuts at her or something like that. And you see blood fly over this white sheet where the kids run off. And then you see something dragging that white sheet back inside where the yard's at. And it's got this little growling kind of a kitty sound to it, like it's a kid. And you don't see nothing. It's just you see something under the white sheet dragging. Well, then husband has fallen asleep. No, let me back this up. When the sheet jumps up at her, she starts screaming. And she's like yelling for him. And he is sitting there. And then when that happens, you hear something saying something like, oh, yes, baby. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I didn't know what the hell's going on. Like, is something out there? Is it that good in the yard where she's like yelling, yes, baby? But then come to find out, when she said go put the tape in, the tape was old porno tape. Because by that time it shows the TV and you got this old girl, titties just wailing, riding some dick up in there on the video. And so the whole time she's yelling help, he's got his video screaming like all loud, like, oh, yes, baby, yes, baby. And he just thinks that's the damn tape that he was hearing. So he doesn't hear anything. So he just kind of lays back down. And that's when everything drug her out past the fence and he killed her. But then he wakes up later on. I don't know how late it is. It's still dark outside. It's not morning. He wakes up. He starts looking around. The old TV screen has got the old little sound. And so the TV's done reached the end of the old VHS. The porn has played. He kind of sits up looking around, don't see nothing. His wife ain't there. He kind of feels for it. Nobody's in the bed. So he gets up, starts looking around, goes out the house and sees that the Christmas decoration shit's still up. And he's got looking around. He kind of walks out there. He sees this kind of box thing sitting on the ground. And while he's standing there, something kind of lights up behind him. And so when he kind of turns and looks, he sees once again one of these sheets. But before he sees the sheet, he's looking, because I told you they had like these fake arms hanging from the damn tree. And he's looking at this one arm that I guess it looked more real than the others. So he's looking at it, And when he starts to get closer to it, something lights up behind him where that little sheet is. And when he goes toward that sheet, the camera gives you the close up of the hand that's hanging down, has a wedding band on it. And that's his wife. That's her arm hanging from the tree. So he goes over there and he starts pulling the sheet off. And as he's pulling the sheet off, he pulls it off slowly. And then you see that, hold on a minute. My computer just did something. Okay, shit. I think we're good. My bad. But so he pulls the sheet off and he sees his wife literally hanging up on one of these like wood things, fucked up, like eyes open, and there's something shoved in her mouth, like this kind of round looking thing shoved in her mouth. But she's dead, fucked up. He backs up, starts doing some screaming type shit, and then we're going to kind of, it gives us an earlier sign. A little thing comes across screen, says earlier. Now we're backing it up a little bit. And at first I didn't know what that was meaning by like how earlier, like was this like, I don't know. Like I said, you start piecing it together as it goes. That's what was so fucking good about it. So there is a big parade going on. And it shows some girls at this like Halloween costume place. They're like buying Halloween costumes. Literally like the night of is what it looked like. Because the place was packed. And they're in like these little dressing room things getting ready. And they're all, I think 3 or 4 of them are sitting there talking and shit. And we got a little boy scrolling through there with he's got his little costume on, like a little sucker. He can't be no more than like, 7 or 8 maybe. And he's scrolling through, and the little dude trying to peek inside them little dressing door, inside the door through the crack, trying to see what he can see. The little dude want to see him some tits and ass. I ain't mad at him, but he was kind of peeping through there. And then, his mama comes up there and basically pulls him away, and she's like, "There's children out here," type shit. And, fucked up little man's viewing pleasure. Well, then we're gonna get, like I said, a news reporter lady's outside, and she's talking about how the parade's going on downtown. It's got, all the people dressed up for Halloween, and she's making comments like, "This is the night everybody gets to pretend to be as bad as they want to be," and so that's all going on. We get this kid walking down the street. He's got a bag of candy, but his little fucking fat ass is too damn lazy to even carry the bag. He's literally dragging it, and you tell the bottom of the bag looks all like muddy and dirty, and he's just dragging it along, and he's going through there, and what he's doing, he's knocking down like people's jack-o'-lanterns. The ones that got him lit up, he's just knocking them off, busting them on the ground, just being a fucking piece of shit. And he's just one of them kids that you just won't, you don't like him right out of the gate. He just got a look about him. You don't like him. And so he comes up to this one house, and he sits there and he looks up, he goes up to the house. And when some people are away, I don't know why people do this. If they're not there, they don't want to answer the door. They'll leave some fucking candy out there and put a sign on there, like some shit like, "Oh, just take one, please." Who the fuck actually does that? Like, who goes up there and sees a bowl full of Reese cups? I say Reese cups because I love Reese cups. Who sees a big ass bowl of Reese cups and think I'm gonna walk up there and take just one? It ain't gonna happen. I'm that guy. If there's nobody around, I'm taking a handful. I will take all the Reese cups. Fuck all them other kids. So he goes up there, a little sign basically says, just take one piece of candy. And I get why people would do that, because I am not a fan of answering the door all the time. I don't do it. I'm where I stay at. I don't do the whole, I got fucking kids everywhere around me. If I played that game, I leave all my lights off, because there are so many kids, because where I live at, and because I'm on like a military post, there's fucking kids everywhere. If I left a damn porch light on and was going to give out Halloween candy all night, I would be playing an up and down game all fucking night, and I ain't gonna do it. So I ain't putting shit out there. I enjoy Halloween, don't get me wrong, but I am not going to be playing up and down game here. Like when I retire and I'm off living somewhere where it's not that crazy, okay. But I would be that one that could understand the whole putting a big ass bowl out there. And I wouldn't even just take one piece. I would just fill a big ass bowl, sit out in front of my door, and just put a sign that says, "Do not knock. Do not ring the bell. Take all the candy." And that would be me. So I get why people would do it. But little old chunky kid here, he goes up the stairs, gets him a fucking handful of that candy. And he just looks fucking, when you see him, you'll see mouth's kind of like already got chocolate and shit on it. His little chunky ass been eaten already. And his bag's all dirtied up. He just looks dirty. As he's grabbing this, the dude walks up that lives there. Mr. Wilkins walks up and he's got like a bag. And he kind of asks him, makes a comment like, that's bad for your diabetes type shit. And little boy kind of looks at him and he's just kind of like, oh, that's okay. I got more candy. And he asks him to stay. And I think they're going to like carve up a jack-o'-lantern, like carve out a pumpkin. And once again, this is all happening on Halloween night. I don't know how late in the night it is. It's already dark. I would think all the pumpkins would have been carved by now. All that shit would have been done. But nope. He's sitting out there going to carve up some pumpkins, gets old chunky kid to say, hey, sit down here with me. Going to give you some candy. Have you some candy, kid? And so he's sitting over the kid. Dude pulls out a knife. And the kid kind of looks at it. He goes, no, not a big deal. It's for my pumpkin. Mine's too dull. And little chunky kid is distracted by the candy, apparently, because as soon as dude whipped out a knife, little man should have gave it all he had to try to sprint his fat ass out of the yard. But nope, he was just too busy chunking down the chocolate. So while he's sitting there, you could tell the little boy starts getting sick. And the man makes a comment to him, that, hey, that old saying, maybe you should check the candy before you eat it type shit. Well, this kid's fucking chunking it down. And all of a sudden, this motherfucker gets sick. And he starts puking and puking and puking. Like a lot of puke. Like a lot of just like a chocolate fountain. Like one of them chocolate fountains you go to. And it's just projectile chocolate looking vomit coming out of this little fucker's mouth. All over the steps, all over everything. Then this dude, he just kind of falls over into the dude, Mr. Wilkins' lap. Mr. Wilkins drags him into the house. And so as soon as he gets him in the house, they got, what was it? It jumps back and it shows us at the parade again, where we get our girl Anna Paquin. I forget her damn name. Let me see real quick if I got it. No, that's too far. I don't know. But you'll know it when you watch it. I call her Little Red Riding Hood because her costume, those girls out in the little dressing room, they all dressed up like Disney type people. Like we had Little Red Riding Hood, we had Cinderella, we had Snow White, and there was another one. Well, Anna Paquin plays Little Red Riding Hood. She's got the little red cape on and everything. So it shows her with her friends. Her friends, they just come across as a bunch of fucking just trying to find some dick, man. Like one girl, she's trying to hit on and invite everybody she bumps into to this party they're going to. They bump into the news crew that she's inviting a dude from the Halloween shop. I'm like, like a little snipping sound, like, do I smell a whore? That kind of thing. And so it shows them kind of leave her. I don't know. Maybe I just missed the part when I was trying to watch it, but she doesn't go with them. They all hop in the van to go out to the party. She stays at the parade walking around. And then it shows back to Mr. Wilkins dragging old fat boy up into his house, and some kids knock on the door. And they're basically want some candy, and they see him kind of covered in some blood, and they just think it's like a costume type shit. He gives them some candy to go about their business. And so he takes Chunky Boy out back. He uncovers a hole he already has dug. There's already a body in there. He's got old Chunky Boy wrapped up. He's going to throw him in this hole. While he's doing that, his son is up in the window. He's like, hey, Daddy, I'm home from trick-or-treating. Dad's trying to play it off because he's out there. Here he is with a fucking grave next to him and a shovel in his hand. And he's trying to get the little kid to stop yelling because the kid's all loud. And he's like, tells him he'll be there in a minute. And so little boy gets quiet. So he like throws the body in the hole. And then as he's in there, as he's starting to cover it up or whatever, the neighbor's dog starts barking. Neighbor's dog is poking his head through the fence, barking like crazy. He's trying to get the dog to shut up. Well, the dude takes a shovel and like chops off a finger off of the body, and he throws it over the fence for the dog to go chew on to distract the dog. Well, the little boy wakes up. He ain't dead. Well, I don't know if it's the little boy. Somebody in that hole wakes up, and it's grabbing him and it's trying to get up. I don't know who was in the hole. Maybe I missed something somewhere, but it's not Chunky Boy. So the little boy comes back to the window again, yelling for his daddy. Hey, when you get up here, I want to carve some pumpkins, and the dad's like, hey, I'll be up there in a minute. So he takes the shovel, smashes whatever that was in the hole, whoever it was, kills them, covering the fucking hole back up. Motherfuckers that are watering it, and dad goes to go in the house and he's making comments about the little boy. And he's like, "Oh, daddy, I want to do this. Daddy, I want to do that." Daddy puts off like he don't even like this little fucker. And as the dad goes up the steps, he hears something. He looks off to the side. He sees the neighbor because the neighbor came outside when he heard the dog barking. And he basically was looking over there and basically telling him like, somebody said it smells like a dirty whore out here. And so he's talking to him. Well, then the neighbor goes back in the house. Mr. Wilkin goes into the house. He looks over and sees the neighbor screaming in his window. He just kind of like, fuck off. I'm going back in the house. Goes in the house. And he's asking for the little boy. The little boy apparently name was Billy. He's asking for Billy. All of a sudden, Billy jumps up, scared the shit out of dad. And I'm just like, all right, little dude. Dad's already acting like he don't like you out in the yard. He's about to fuck you up. Because he walks off and he's looking at little boy like he just don't like him. And he grabs a knife and he is going, and the dad telling him, come on, let's go down to the basement. And I'm like, oh shit, this is going to be one of them movies where we fuck them kids up. I'm a fan of it. A movie that's willing to fuck up some kids. Hey, 2 thumbs up. Thank you. So going down in the basement, downstairs. And that's what I was going. I was like, oh, he's about to kill little Billy. And so the little boy tells the dad, he's looking at the table. You see like a little bowl there, like, when you put the pumpkin seed and shit at. And he's telling him, he's like, let's carve a scary face this time. And the dad comes up with the knife. He's got his hand on the boy's head. He swings the knife down and you hear it hit something. And when he pulls it up, it's got some blood on it. And I'm like, oh shit, he did fucking kill that little boy. But then he puts the knife in the boy's hand. He didn't kill a little boy. He gives the little boy the knife. And then the camera pulls around and it's the fucking Chunky Boy's head on the table. Like dad has chopped off Chunky Boy's head, set it on the table, and now little boy gonna carve this motherfucker up. And I was like, fuck yeah. That part I didn't see coming. I really did think dad was gonna fucking take old Billy out. And then we kind of jumped to a different story. We're going to get some kids knocking on a lady's house. The lady answers the door. She is fucked up drunk. You could tell. And she's trying to give out the fucking candy. And you can tell there's a party going on in the background. And she's one of them older ladies. And she's kind of dressed real skimpy. And she's kind of like, does this little fucking try to be sexy in front of these little kids. Real kind of creepy looking. But you can tell they had a hell of a party going on there. And when it shows a part of the camera, when the kids are at the door, it almost looks like a little fucking orgy, a little Halloween orgy going on. And I was like, okay, hey, no judgment here. So, but it was funny that when they're walking away, the kids are like, I don't know what I just saw. And one little boy's like, well, I do. I seen Coach Taylor in a costume, butt fucking a pig. And I was laughing my ass off. The little boy was just like calm as it could be. Like, I know what I saw. And so then we get some kids coming down the street. They're stealing pumpkins. The little jack-o'-lantern people got sitting out. They're stealing them. They got like a little shopping cart, taking them. And at one point, they only had 3. And the girl was kind of like that little one I mentioned earlier, Macy, the one you just ain't gonna like and you want her to die. That's when we bring this group in. And they're like, stealing these pumpkins. And then they come to this one house. They were waiting on her, Rhonda. And as soon as they walked out, one of them made the comment about Rhonda, like, "Oh, here is that Rhonda the retard type thing." And so she comes out to her little gate. She's going with them apparently. The boy asked her if she carved all the pumpkins, and Schrader was the boy's name. And so she goes off with them. Then we jump back. We're back at the little parade thing going on downtown, and it's showing people like out in the alleyways, getting a little you tell they're trying to fuck something, man. They all over each other, a couple shots, And we get the one dude, he's up in the damn because he's up in the on the alleyway kissing up on some girl. Now let me back up one. I forgot a point. When we had Mr. Wilkins and his son wanted to do some more fun shit. He wanted to do some Halloween stuff. Daddy told him he had a date that he couldn't be there. He had to go take care of something. Now we're back in the fucking alleyway, and this dude's out in the alleyway, and he's filling up on this girl, kissing all over. He like kind of pulls her hands up to the wall, and he's like kissing on her neck and stuff like that. When he kind of backs up, she kind of looks up. She got blood all over her hands, and like there's blood on her hands running down her neck, face and shit. But then she got panics, takes off running. Well, he does this little spurt. Motherfucker got some like vampire teeth, and I'm like, oh shit, this dude got fangs. I don't know who he was, so I called him Fang Guy. But and so she goes running out the street. Now, as she's running, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, first off, ain't nobody paying you no damn attention, lady, because this is Halloween. There's a big ass parade going on. Everybody out there drinking, having a good time. People in the alleyways trying to fuck. You run out with a little bit of blood on you and fall down screaming. People just look at you like, cool costume. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody's even looking her way. So she gets out in the street. She stands up. She grabs and asks somebody for help. Now, this is where we piece a little bit together. The person she asked for help is the lady in the beginning, the husband and wife, the ones who came home, the robot suit, the dude watched the porn. She put the light out on the jack-o'-lantern like she wasn't supposed to do. She bumps into them. So they just kind of play her off. They kind of go about their own business. When old girl turns around, Fang Guy is standing there next to her. He grabs her. You see him like throw his cape like he's supposed to be Count Dracula type shit. And then next thing you know, he's propping her up against a fucking wall beside a building. She just looked like some passed out drunk because he just sits her up against the wall and kind of closes her eyes for her. Bitch is dead. So then we kind of go back to the kids, those kids that were still in the pumpkins. Now they are walking somewhere down this road. They come out there and it looks like a cliff. They got their cart with all the pumpkins. They come to this cliff, and it ends up being like a rock quarry. And so they get out there, and the girl, Macy, the little bitch you don't like, starts telling a story. And it is a story that took place, I forget how many years ago, but it was about a bus driver who was driving a bus, and he had these troubled kids on it. Well, apparently all these kids were special needs. Let's just say it that way. Special needs kids. And the parents had enough of dealing with these special kids. All the kids were on the bus dressed up in Halloween costumes. The driver is driving them. And they basically says, and the little girl's telling the story, is basically saying that the parents had enough of the kids. They didn't want them around. And the bus driver's driving them home one day, Halloween. He comes to a stop sign. Well, he makes a comment about how the parents wanted him to do something. The parents took up some money and made an offer to the bus driver. So the bus driver, instead of going his regular route home, turns a different direction. One of the little kids in the fucking the fucking bus, starts saying some shit like wrong turn or wrong way is what he kept saying over and over again, and like he knew some shit was up. So the dude takes off down another road, going down some back road somewhere, ends up going out to the rock quarry. I think I said that right. But he like hits the gas, busts through the fence, pulls up out there. And so, but when I watched it, I'm like, well, how far was this? Because these kids fucking walked. The little new kids, the kids like, Macy and Rhonda, and those kids, they walked out there with a little shopping cart. And so I wasn't sure how far it was when the dude was driving the bus. But when the bus driver, when she's telling the story, the bus driver busts through there. He pulls up to the edge. He gets out of his seat. And the dude starts walking down the center of the bus. And he's giving the kids candy. And when he's giving the kids candy, you see him reach down and grab him. There is fucking chains on these kids. They're literally chained to the seats of this bus. And he's going, I think there were 8 of them, is what they said on the bus. He's going down to each seat, giving them some candy and then checking their chains. And I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I thought, one, he was giving them the candy, he was going to poison them, and they were all going to die. Or he was going to drive them off the fucking cliff at the rock place. So as he's giving out the candy, walking down the aisle, the little kid, the little Dracula kid, the one that was saying wrong way earlier, he's still mumbling the same shit. But he's trying to get his little wrist, little shackle things off, like these little leather belt type shackle type things. But he's trying to get them off. And you see him working his hands because he's got blood on his hands. He's trying to get them off, and he just keeps saying wrong way. He starts saying home, like dude just wants to go home. And so as the bus driver to the back of the bus, handing out the last piece of candy to the other chained in person, he hears the bus fucking start up. Now he turns and look, little old dude, want to go home kid is in the seat of the bus and started it up. Well, when the bus driver tries to run up there, one of the other little damn people in the bus, special kids, trips him. He falls. Well, the little junior up there puts that bad boy in drive and hits the gas. He just wants to go home. Drove this motherfucker right off the edge of the cliff, straight into the water. And then you see the bus sinking. As the bus is sinking, the only one that come up from that fucking bus was the bus driver. Because all the other fucking kids was chained in. Except for the kid in the driver's seat. So, the bus driver comes up out of the water. You start seeing a few Halloween masks floating up. Bus driver comes out of the water. And so basically, nobody ever, according to the story, nobody ever knew what happened to the bus driver. Nobody ever knew what happened to the bodies or these kids or anything. And they basically said it was just called, like, maybe the parents just didn't want to. The parents didn't care. All they cared about is they didn't have to deal with the kids no more. And so that was it. And so now these kids today, now we're back into the present time. They're taking these pumpkins up there because they want to take these pumpkins down there to the edge of the water and light them in honor of the 8 bodies that died. That's what they wanted to do. So they get their pumpkins. There's an elevator thing out there. And apparently they have a key to it. I don't know where the key comes. I think they broke in somewhere in that area and took the key. I don't remember. There's a key to operate the elevator. Them old industrial elevators, like metal ones, up and down. So their thing is, we're going to ride this elevator down. We're going to set the pumpkins up, but elevator will only hold 3. So Macy, I think his name was Schrader, and the other chick, I don't remember. She had braces on. I called her Brace Face. Brace Face was the 3rd one. They said, we're going to go down there, and then we're going to send the key back up. That way the last 2 can come, which was Rhonda and a little nerdy boy. He had like a pirate costume on. I called him Patch because he had the patch over his eye, I think. So Rhonda and Patch was still at the top. They go down. They're all waiting for the elevator to come back up. And then we go back to the parade. Now we got Little Red Riding Hood just walking down the street. And she's looking at people like she's on a dick hunt too. But she's looking at people and she sees them as a couple or whatever, and she just kind of like don't really have nothing to do with them because I'm assuming like, oh, they're with somebody. She's just mad because she can't find one. But then it shows her kind of sitting there off to the side, and then she gets a phone call from her friends that went to the party, and now the friends are trying to like set her up. They're like, hey, you got to get out here. We got somebody for you, and he's a really nice guy. And then it shows the person. And it's like this fat fuck dressed in a baby costume, like a little baby. You know how them little sexual fetishes are, where you got them grown-ass men that want to put on a diaper so the little lady can change them, and want to be spanked? That's what he looked like. And so he's sitting there. So the whole time I'm watching, I'm going, man, you got some shitty-ass friends. Like, they just kind of blew you off, and then they're just trying to get you to come out there and like, take one for the team, So while she's sitting there, she looks across the way. Fang guy is looking at her. He's like across the way. They make eye contact. And I'm like, okay, you're next for Fang guy. So then all of a sudden we back out there at the rock core. You hear some howling noise. And one of the, I think Rhonda made a comment like wolves or some shit like that. No big deal. Nighttime, whatever. So then the elevator comes back up. Rhonda and little boy Patch. At some point, I don't remember his name. Maybe it was Billy. I think it was Billy. Rhonda and Billy. Elevator comes up to get an elevator. Now they're going to go down there. They got their pumpkins. They're going to go join the other three. As the elevator's going down, they start hearing some screaming. And Macy and Schrader and Braceface, they're screaming and running and taking off. Within the elevator opens, little dude Billy, he don't want to go down there. They're trying to figure out how to make the elevator go back up. Same thing I would have been doing. Elevator gets to the bottom. Rhonda says she opens the elevator. She got to go find them. Little dude Billy says no. Smart kid Billy, I'd have kept my ass in that elevator and I'd have hit that reverse button and took my ass back to the top. That's what I'm thinking. So Rhonda's out there roaming around just by herself. She comes up on the bus. The bus is like, because it looked like she was coming through this, like, I don't know if it was a cave looking thing. She come out the other side. I don't know. But the bus is sitting there, like ass down in the mud looking shit. And you see the front of the bus sticking up. And she sees like some masks floating in the water. And so I'm like, oh shit, man, the short bus kids are fucking, zombies or whatever, fucked her kids up. So she goes to the mask floating in the water. And I was like, as soon as she sees the mask, I'm thinking to myself, she got to go grab the mask now. Like, you got to be nosy. So she goes down to the water to grab it. And something comes out of the water. Zombie looking shit, got some chains on it, looking zombified, creepy looking shit comes out of the water. And I was sitting there thinking, like, oh, fuck, that's the short bus kids. And so she takes off running, drops her glasses. She's on the floor on the ground trying to look for them. And I'm sitting there thinking like fucking Velma from Scooby-Doo. Always drop her damn glasses. Hold on one second. Corona break. Thank you. And so then as she's running, she sees one of them like eating on like some intestines and shit. Like there's one of her friends is like ripped open, something sitting there fucking eating on. All you see is guts and shit. And so she keeps still running. She gets to the edge of like a cliff. All of them are coming up on her. All the little short bus kids. And she slips off and falls into like a shallow end of this water thing, like hits her head on some rocks. She falls. Now, when she falls, you hear one of them in the group of the short bus kids. They go like, oh, shit. And when I heard that, I'm like, was this a fucking joke? Was this a trick? Guess what? It was a fucking trick. These kids went all out, and played a trick on this old girl. And even the fucking little Billy, the little chunky dude in the elevator, was playing it off well. He was the one with his guts all over the place. He was in on it. They were all dressed up to scare the shit out of Rhonda. And I'm just like, oh man, that was fucked up. Because when she fell, like, it could have killed her. She hit her head on some shit. When she came through, she woke up, like, took off running, and they all kind of like were taking their mask off and was like, oh, it was a joke type shit. And Rhonda wasn't having it. She was almost like in a panic attack. And Schrader, as old boy, was trying to calm her down. He'd realize, okay, this went too far. And Macy, she was just kind of like, fuck it, let's go. So they're all getting ready to leave. When they're walking back toward the elevator, there was a pumpkin still sitting out there. And I think Macy or somebody kicked it off into the water. So they're all getting ready to go. And while they're at the bus, because that's where the elevator came down at, and they start hearing some voices, some like giggling and shit. But then we got Schrader still with fucking Rhonda. making sure she's okay. But they start hearing fucking screaming and shit, and Macy's yelling for Schrader. Schrader goes to go try to find him, but Rhonda just covers her ears. Rhonda is still fucked up from the shit they pulled on her. So Schrader goes running out there, and Macy bumps into him. And he's like screaming, like, "We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. It's the kids, you know." Well, then they're trying to make their way out of there. Well, then old brace face girl, they grab her because she had some change or something on her from the costume they were trying to trick the old girl with. And they grabbed her and snatched her away. So brace face is no more. So they get to the elevator. So now we got Macy, Schrader, and a little chunky kid, Billy, trying to get to the elevator. To get to the elevator's closed. They look, and Rhonda has made her way to the elevator. Rhonda said when all this shit was going down, she said, "Fuck this, I'm getting to the elevator." Shut the elevator door. She's got her pumpkin still in her hand. And she's like, going to get out of there. Well, they're like asking her, like, "Hey, give us the key, let us in the elevator." And so she grabs the key. And the whole time I'm going, "Don't open that fucking elevator. Let them all die." That's exactly what Rhonda does. Rhonda says, "Fuck you all," and rides her elevator back up top, gets off the elevator. She's got her pumpkin still lit, goes off the elevator. You hear the kids screaming in the background. Now, when she gets off, you're going to see this little person. He's got like these orange pajamas with like this little stuff. I don't know what kind of, like a little sack over his head with like eyes and shit on it. Little short guy. And I just called him little orange guy for a little while. And so he's like standing there looking at her. And then she sees him, he sees her. Rhonda's got her pumpkin still lit. The little dude looks at her and just kind of walks off. And then I was thinking, I was like, okay, I remember earlier when at the beginning when old girl was going to put that light out on that pumpkin, and he told her don't break the rules. And then something came after her. So then I got to thinking, was it the little guy in the orange suit that went after her? Because as soon as he seen Rhonda still had her pumpkin lit, still playing by the rules, he left her alone. So Rhonda gets to stepping. Now we can jump back to Little Red Riding Hood walking down the street, middle of the woods, because now she's going out there to meet her other girlfriends, the one that told her they had somebody out there waiting for her, like the little fat fucking baby that they were trying to hook her up with. So she's walking out in the middle of the fucking woods, and my nose is itching. Excuse me, shit. And next thing you know, Fang Guy shows up. I knew Fang Guy was going to show up because they were eye fucking each other back at the parade. So when he shows up, I'm like, oh, he's about to fuck her up. Like Little Red Riding Hood gonna die. And the girls out in the fucking party, like she's starting to worry because they knew she was coming out there, and they were asking her, and she's like, "Oh no, she'll be okay," type thing. And the one girl was worried about her. Well, you seen Fang Guy bite Little Red Riding Hood. You can tell he bit her. I'm like, oh shit, she's dead. So now we out in the woods with the little bonfire parties going on. All the little girlfriends out there. And next thing you know, when they're saying she's gonna be fine, all you see is this red cape come flying in from the sky and like lands on the ground out there next to him. And I was like, oh shit, dude, Fang Guy fucked her up because all you seen was the red cape. So they go over there toward the red cape on the ground. I don't know if this chick was her sister, the main one of her friends. I don't know if it was her sister or what. I can't remember. But she goes there and she starts pulling back the little red cape. And it's that moment, in every horror movie where somebody goes to uncover something or move it, they always seem to take their fucking time. Like I'm just sitting there like, just fucking snatch it off. But she like pulls it back real slow. And when she pulls it back real slow, guess who we have wrapped up in this red cape? Not Little Red Riding Hood. This is fucking Mr. Wilkins. The dude back from the beginning that damn killed old chunky boy, chopped his head off, buried the bodies in his yard. He told old boy he had a date. He couldn't do shit with him. He had to go out. Daddy was out trying to kill some more people. Now, shit caught up with him. Now we got Mr. Wilkins, bam, laying on the ground in a red cape. And I'm sitting there going like, what the fuck? Where the fuck is Little Red Riding Hood? Well, here comes Little Red Riding Hood around the corner. And she got a whole different look to her now. Like, totally different. She's got straight up Sookie, sexy going on right now. She comes around the corner and they're kind of, you know, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And so they take her off to the side. And then this one girl goes over there to Mr. Wilkins and she pulls his mouth open and she pulls his little fake teeth out that he was using to bite these ladies. And then he can't move because he pulls the cape back. His leg is like compound fracture, like bones sticking out type shit. So then he's laying on the ground. And when he starts looking around, you see him look across the area and you start noticing a whole lot of dead bodies, just dead people all on the ground. And I'm sitting there going like, what the fuck? And so I'm thinking like, okay, we got us some vampires. That's what we got right now. We got us some female vampires. And so next thing you know, they basically tell old girl she's got to kill the dude. Like the dude that she brought there, dropped him down. Fang guy, Mr. Wilkins, she got to kill him. Then we get some damn Marilyn Manson music. Sweet dreams are made of these. Music playing in the background. The whole mood just gets sexy, people. I mean, sexy. You got these damn, ladies out there dressed up as Disney characters. Next thing you know, the music's playing. They start fucking changing. They got their fucking fangs out. Old girl comes to her, sits on top of Mr. Wilkins. She's got straight, Sookie sexy going on. And then all the other ladies, next thing you know, they starting to like strip off clothes. I'm like, oh shit, we got a bunch of damn sexy vampires in the woods. We got some Marilyn Manson playing. They about to get fucking butt ass naked, and there's gonna be some killing going on in the woods. And so I'm watching it, and as their clothes are coming off, they start peeling their skin off. And I was like, okay, so you're not going to give me titties. Okay, got it. But they start peeling their skin off like it's clothes, like pulling the skin off their arms, taking their leg skin off like it's a pair of fucking pants. And whole time I'm thinking, field full of sexy dancing vampires. Fuck no, I was wrong. We got us a field full of fucking werewolves. They all turn into werewolves and shit because when they start peeling their skin off, that's what's underneath there. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And so it was funny though, because right there when old Red Riding Hood was about to kill old Mr. Wilkins, before in the damn, on her walk through the woods when he showed up, he made a comment towards her when he bit her. He made a comment like, those story, Little Red Riding Hood. He made a comment like, my, what big eyes you have. And it was funny because when she sat down on top of him about to fuck him up, she like looks at him and does the same shit to him, like, my, what big eyes you have. Then she fucking kills him. And we got like a field full of wolves, just they done killed a bunch of people out there. And I'm like, when it does this, the camera shows, and we got little dude in the orange PJs again, just sitting on a log watching it all. So we've had different stories through this thing. Like we had the damn lady in the beginning. We had the little fucking chunky kid. And then we got the damn school bus shit with the kids on the cliff. Little dude in the PJs have been there the whole time. And then we get another thing come across screen. It says earlier, now we're backing it up even further to the beginning, even further. So we got 3 kids come to a house. 3 kids come knocking on a door. Creepy old house. They like don't want to go up there. They go up there. Whoever's in the house goes to unlock the door. Dude sounded like he had like 12 locks on the door. You heard them all unlocking. And the door opens. These kids see some fucking green glowing eyes. And then I'm like, oh, fuck. We got werewolves. That's what I'm thinking. Well, shit. Shit comes running out. Kids running. Whatever it is chasing them. They go out the gate and shut the gate. Well, it stops at the gate. And I'm like, well, I can't be a fucking werewolf. Werewolf would have jumped the damn gate. So the old man comes out there and he's looking around. And I think his name is Mr. Craig, something like that. So he calls the whatever that animal was back up to him. And you see the dog run up to him. And when the dog, he picks him up. Dog's got him a little costume on, And they go back in the house. And while he's sitting there, the old man is burning some pictures. You see him with a box in his hand. He's burning pictures at his fireplace. Well, he sits down, and when them kids ran off, they left a bag of candy. So the old man now he's got him a bag of candy. Scared the fucking kids off, got him a bag of candy. Then the dog jumps up in his lap. Little dude, the dog has a mask on with the glowing eyes. He pulls the damn mask off, and the dog just, normal. He's just something he did to scare the shit out of the kids, which is fucking genius. If you don't want the little fucking kids on your doorstep, do something like that to scare the shit out of them. Chase them out your yard. It's brilliant. If I was a dog person, I would totally look into that to keep little fuckers off the porch. But so he's sitting there, and he looks through the bag of candy, pulls out this candy bar, and I don't know if he didn't like it. He didn't mess on like it because he just kind of set it on the table. But he had him a bottle of liquor there that he did like. This old man had been drinking his life away. And he's flipping through the TV. And when he's flipping through the TV, the news that was on earlier, where the news reporter's talking about the parade going on downtown, and he's watching that news from earlier, because I told you we backed up some now. And he starts hearing something outside. He starts hearing the little kids again. He goes to the damn window, and his gate's open. But then you see eggs being thrown against his window. Got some kids throwing shit at his window. So he goes to the closet, grabs him a baseball bat. He's like completely like, fuck them kids. So he goes out, and he opens up the door. The dog is in the yard chewing on something. Now another piece filled in. Earlier, Mr. Wilkins threw that finger over the fence to keep the dog distracted. That's what the dog, whose name is Spike, is chewing on. So now we're at that part. The old man goes out there, and it shows him talking to Mr. Wilkins. And, he sees him on the other side, and he makes a comment about how it smells like dirty whores out here. And so he's talking to Mr. Wilkins. And so then the old man goes inside. Now, when the old man gets back inside, the dog is barking at another door. And so the old man goes into the house, and he opens up the other door. I don't know, maybe it's his back door or something. And he opens it up, and his yard is full of lit up jack-o'-lanterns all over his yard. So he has that bat still. And when he sees it, he picks that bat up like he's going to smash these pumpkins. Well, then next thing you know, little Spike is barking his ass off again. And so he hears something. He goes back in the house. He's looking up. He hears something upstairs. Now, old man then got him a gun. He got him a double barrel shotgun. Loads this bad boy up. Now we heading upstairs. And when he gets to the bottom of the stairs, though, when he flips the light on, it kind of flickers off and on. And when it flickers off and on, you see something run across the fucking top of the stairs. Now, kudos to old man for still having the balls go up there. He did have his shotguns. Maybe that was the reason why. Old man going upstairs, looking for his dog. And he wheezing. You can tell motherfuckers like on his last leg. He's wheezing and shit, goes upstairs. He opens up the door to his bedroom. He comes into his bedroom. There's something under the sheets fucking around moving. Well, he takes a shotgun, aims it at the sheets. I'm like, damn, fool, you about to blow a fucking hole in your bed right now. But he didn't. He just pulled the sheet back, and it was like this little hand just sitting there. I don't know if it was a toy hand, mechanical hand. I don't know. But it was a hand. And he kind of like calmed him down. And he turns around, and I forget if he fell. Yeah, something under the bed fucking cut his leg. He falls down. There's a pumpkin, a jack-o'-lantern over on the table. It lights up. When it lights up, the room lights up. And there's like shit all over the ceiling and the walls, like that, like trick or treat, give them something good to eat type shit. That's all it says. Like, that old saying, trick or treat, something good to eat. Fuck, I don't remember how it goes. And while he's standing there, he turns, and we got our little dude in the PJs again. Little orange PJ guy is standing there. And he's trying to he takes his shotgun. And when he pulls the trigger to shoot the little PJ guy, it ends up hitting that pumpkin that was lit up. It blows up, lights go out. So then old man trying to get away. He makes his way to the stairs, trips and falls down the stairs. Now, when he falls down the stairs, it shows there's candy everywhere. But in this candy, seemed like a whole lot of glass. You seen razor blades on the floor, you know. So old man's like laying in all this shit. And so he's getting up. He's trying to get out of there. He makes his way to the door, try to open the door, but his faint hands are so fucked up, and he's got like 25 fucking locks. And so he's trying to open all the locks on it. And so you see little orange PJ guy is on the ceiling now. And I'm sitting there going like, fuck, dude, turn around. Like little dude's on the ceiling. He's making some giggling noise, like little kid giggling noise. And the whole time he sounded like a little kid. And dude jumps on the old man. The old man fights him off, slams him against the door, you know. And this is when, earlier on, when I told you the neighbor was yelling for Mr. Wilkins, when Mr. Wilkins seen him at his window yelling, this is the old man now yelling for help, you know, or Mr. Wilkins just kind of said, fuck you, I'm going to my house, you know. And when the dude is on top of, he's fighting the little PJ guy. PJ guy jumps on him. That's what it was. When he jumped on him, old man pulled his mask off, the little hood that he had on. Well, little dude got a head of a pumpkin. I call him little pumpkin head. So he throws little pumpkin head off. Well, then he grabs his gun, shoots him, and little pumpkin head goes flying all the way down the hallway, slams up against the damn door. But old man, you know, typically in a lot of movies, motherfuckers take that first shot and they just kind of think everything's good and wander off or whatever. Not old man. Old man is reloading this bad boy. And I'm like, fuck yeah, you better shoot it some more. So he's got it reloading. And he goes down the hallway. He goes to call, I think he shoots this little fucker like 2 more times, like in his stomach and shit, trying to like finish him off. Yeah, 2 more times he shot him. Then he goes over to the phone, go call 911. When he first calls, they tell him, please hold. It's Halloween, dude. They probably busy as fuck. But then they answer and he goes to tell them what's going on, but then something pulls the phone line out of the wall. Like phone line just gets snatched out. But then the old man turns and look, little pumpkin head still up against the wall. So he's still there. He hasn't gone anywhere. But then when he looks, little pumpkin head's hand is still alive. It has pulled the phone out of the wall, the phone cord, and now he's making his way back over to little pumpkin head. And when he gets over there, he starts putting himself back together. Little pumpkin head dude is his hands reattaching. He is back to being little pumpkin head dude all over again. And at this time, like the old man kind of knows this is it. Like, fuck, I done shot this motherfucker like 3 times. It ain't dying. This is it. Gig's up. My time is up. I had to get run. So, excuse me. Little pumpkin head grabs a sucker. And it's like a pumpkin shaped sucker. And the old dude had like stumbled on the floor and fallen. And he was sitting up against the wall and he tried to reach for the table. And because there's a bottle on there, so I'm assuming he's going to try to use that bottle to try to fight this little fucker off. So when little pumpkin head dude takes a bite out of the sucker, when he takes a bite out of the sucker, I was like, because I remembered earlier in the beginning, when old blonde girl in the beginning got killed, it looked like a sucker, pumpkin shaped, stabbing her. So little pumpkin dude, he done bit a sucker. He's coming toward the dude with the pumpkin, like with the pumpkin sucker, like he's gonna stab him with it. So the old man's on the ground. He breaks the bottle and he goes to like hit him with it, but then he kind of stops him. Well, then little dude, little pumpkin head, went to stab him with the sucker. But when he stabs him, it goes into one of the candy bars that he was eating on earlier, that candy bar. It went into it. And so little pumpkin head picks it up and he sees the candy bar stuck to the sucker. He bites the candy bar and then he just kind of like starts walking away. And I'm like, okay, little dude just wanted some candy, man. He was just trying to trick or treat, be like everybody else. He wanted some candy. He got his candy and he walked out. And I'm like, oh shit, this is the whole thing. As long as you feed these little fuckers, they won't fuck with you. And so he like leaves. Then it shows the fireplace, old man's fireplace. Once again, I told you earlier, he was burning pictures. The pictures it shows in the fireplace is a picture of him, the old little short bus with the 8 kids on the bus, and the dude, the bus driver's up there in that picture. Then I said, "Oh fuck!" Nobody knew what happened to the bus driver. This dude is the bus driver. He was the bus driver that was gonna fucking kill all them kids off. So he's still alive. So I'm just like, well, damn, man. Like, it was odd because when I realized he was a bus driver, I'm like, well, I guess this had nothing to do with, the bus driver kids. Little pumpkin dude ain't got nothing to do with none of them, I guess. But little dude leaves. But this was funny though, because back at the old man's house again, some kids knock on the door. Same night. Because this was earlier, because I tell you, it keeps backing up. So kids knock on the door. You hear all the locks unlocked. But this time he comes to the door, he's all bandaged up, heads wrapped up, arms wrapped up, and everything. Little kids come up to the door, trick or treat. Guess what the fucking old man's got now? Old man's got plenty of candy. Old man's giving that candy out. Because he seemed like, oh shit, if I don't fucking give these kids candy, little pumpkin head shows up and fucks you up. So here, kiddos, take all the candy you want. And they make a comment like, Mr. Craig, that's a great mummy costume. Because dude had himself bandaged up pretty good. And so he was giving out all the candy. And then we show little Wilkins' kid. We said earlier that he had told the little boy that he had to go out. So we have little kid sitting on the front porch giving out candy. The old man steps out of his house when he gives the candy to those kids. He looks up, and standing out on the sidewalk looking at him was little pumpkin head. And he's kind of looking at him, and you see Rhonda coming down the street with some pumpkin. No, you see Rhonda coming back but she's crossing the street with some of her pumpkins or some shit. And then as the old man's looking at little pumpkin head, you see in the background, back to the beginning of the movie, the dude and his wife showing up in the robot costume, and she puts the light out on that jack-o'-lantern because little pumpkin head dude looks over there and he's looking at him now. That's what was looking at them in the beginning, was little pumpkin head dude when she broke the rules and put the fucking light out on the jack-o'-lantern. And so I was like, this thing has come complete circle. You have put all the pieces back together. And this is where the end of it. And of course I figured out like it's different stories. But the part I was wondering when this was going on, I'm like, well, fuck, man. I said, this is the bus driver. Like, they're not going to give me nothing else. Like, this is the bus driver. But they didn't let me down. Did not let me down. And the old man goes back into the house, shuts the door. They hear a knock on the door. Trick-or-treaters again. I'm like, okay, dude's going to give him some more candy. Fuck no. Old dude opens up the door. Guess who's standing at the fucking door? All the little short bus kids that he fucking killed. All the little zombie-fied looking asses standing out there. And they're going to fuck his world up. They look at him and they're just like, trick or treat. And so, bam. That was the ending. I enjoyed it, man. Like, it had me asking questions the whole time. And the only thing I didn't get the answer on is the fucking the werewolves in the woods. But hey, it was supposed to be like different stories all tied in, but it all tied to a little pumpkin guy. And so I was wondering, because I should have counted the kids at the end of the movie, the ones that were out front, because I wasn't sure. They were total of 8 on the bus. Because what I'm thinking, because the little dude on the bus, the one that got free, that drove the bus off the fucking cliff, he wasn't chained into the bus. He got loose. And I seen the bus driver come out, but I never heard. And so in my mind, I think little pumpkin head dude was the little boy on the bus. That's why he was a little boy, like giggling all the time, stuff like that. I think little pumpkin head dude was the kid that drove the bus off the cliff. So I should have paid attention at the end when they were all out front of his house, whether 7 of them or 8 of them. Or maybe a little pumpkin head dude, because he made it seem like he was going to let the old man go. Like, he got his candy and he was wandering off. And like, maybe it was like little pumpkin head dude, kind of like I want to let you go because I got friends of mine that are going to meet you out back later and fuck you up. Like maybe that's the way it was. I have to look at that again. That's okay because I'll definitely be watching this one again. But that's going to get us through trick or treat, man. Like I told you before, this is a Mary for me. I had a lot of fun with this one. Can't believe it took me this long to watch it. It will definitely be watched again. So this is a Mary. Recommend it to everyone to go check this out if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it, let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. Swing by, leave us a comment, leave us a review. 5-star. Apparently that helps gets our numbers out there better, is what they say. But I would definitely appreciate it. Like I said earlier, check us out on all the social media sites, Fright Flick FMK, the podcast website, frightflickfmkpodcast.com. But I think that's gonna do it for another episode of Fright Flick Fuck Mary Kill. Don't know what next week's episode is going to be yet. I will figure that out in a few days, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging around and listening to me talk some shit and drink my Corona for my good buddy Dave. Hold on one second. A Corona break. Thank you. Now, we have reached that time of the show where I need all of you to pick up your drinks, put your chairs away, gather up your shit, and get the fuck out of here. A huge thank you goes out to the executive producers of the show, Dylan Matt, Juliane des Ormeaux, and Dave Jarry. Associate producers, Gregory Barry, Kris Owen, Beth Davis, and Debbie Sullivan.